Thank you for joining me at this moment. This is the number 2 tape, videotape on the earthquake in Newcastle. Well, actually Hamilton in Beaumont Street in Hamilton, plus Islington, and the surrounding districts mainly of Hamilton, which was the centre of the earthquake. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had 3 killed out here. We had 9 killed in the Workers' Club in Newcastle. But this story, this videotape, is on the victims and the people and the destruction that was caused, the aftermath. The first tape was on the earthquake, the actual earthquake itself, but this tape is on the victims and the aftermath and picking up their lives. Some parts are funny, some parts are sad. However, I would like you to be the judge of this tape. I thank you for viewing this tape, and I wish everybody that lost loved ones in the Newcastle disaster, I want my sympathy expressed to them. I also want my sympathy expressed to the people that have lost so much, their homes, their livelihood. And what more can I say? See the tape, judge for yourself. We had a shocking earthquake in Hamilton. Speaking to a young gentleman here that has had rather a hard time. He was having a very, very hard time as it was, let alone when the earthquake hit. Now, where were you when the earthquake actually hit?
I was out at Cardiff.
At Cardiff?
And we went to get the train home, and we discovered that the trains were being cut off.
Yes.
And the buses were off.
That's right.
So we went to the Workers' Club to fill in a bit of time until the trains or buses came back on. And that was closed immediately we got there. We went to the hotel, where we found out that Beaumont Street was the worst affected area, which shook us very much. And we had to wait there until the buses did come back on, scared of coming home to see what happened.
But actually, the precise moment that you were caught in the earthquake, how did you feel?
Well, I thought it was an explosion.
Yes.
And later on I was told that they were going to start mining at Cardiff.
And you just thought it was
we just naturally
explosion?
thought it was an explosion.
And that...
we didn't find out it was an earthquake until we got to the hotel.
And you live in Beaumont Street, do you?
Yes, I live in Beaumont Street.
And was there much damage to the place when you got back here?
It was already been blocked off, and when we saw the front of the shop outside the front of our flat, we didn't know whether we'd be allowed in. And we weren't allowed in the front entrance. We went around to the side entrance, and the wall there had collapsed. But when we did get through, there was no damage in the flat, except for one broken cup.
Now, the people are picking up the pieces. This is one gentleman. You'll start again, naturally.
Yes.
And you'll try, well, you're definitely an Australian, so this is the Australian background and
Yes.
the Australian way of life.
Yes.
Thank you very much for this interview.
Okay, sir.
10th of the 1st of 90. And here is Beaumont Street. They're still working at it. They're still making up their minds what is to be demolished and what isn't. I'm doing the interviews from Beaumont Street at present. Of the city has finally came to the conclusion that Beaumont Street was the hardest place that was hit here in Hamilton. And the Workers' Club naturally had the most deaths, but Hamilton has suffered very, very severely in Beaumont Street in Hamilton. And where were you exactly when the earthquake hit?
Exactly where I'm standing now.
Right here in this shop.
In the shop.
And there doesn't seem to be that much damage.
The shop is not very badly damaged because it's a new building.
Yeah.
But the wall, I hear the wall moving across from that side.
Oh, yes.
Now what hits and all the stuff here fall off. Light in the kitchen, bottles, water.
And what exactly did you think? Did you think it was a bomb or?
I don't know. Yeah, it looks like an explosion.
Yes.
Because I've been under earthquake before a couple of times. When the Fury earthquake struck, I was there.
Italy,
I was in Italy, but about 150 kilometers away from it. It was very strong, probably just as strong as this. But this one looks like an explosion. Just went wham!
And when you went out in the street?
I jump out and I see all the buildings next door dowling, crystal confetti. The can't tell all those clouds of smoke going up like an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
And then everybody hysterical and screaming, I'll run to Dowie, see if everybody was all right. And that's the end of the day. After I realized it was an earthquake. But really it's not like the earthquake that I've seen, I've been under before, a couple of times before. And those, you could feel the tremor here, it was an explosion.
And did your wife...
No, she wasn't here.
She wasn't... You were at home?
In my kitchen.
In your kitchen? You're cleaning up there pretty viciously trying to get the shop ready.
No, oh yes.
And what happened to you when you were...
I was near the window in my kitchen preparing something for my daughter. She was coming back to Sydney because she was here for Christmas, you know.
Yes.
And all my cupboard on the back opened up and everything fell over in the kitchen.
Yes.
But I was lucky enough that the one on top of the sink, it don't open. So I was safe. Otherwise, the fridge moved so much from the wall. I have a bookcase full of books, the same thing, all coming this way, you know. But I didn't see much tremor because the kitchen is small and I was really in front of the window, you see. Just I heard I turned my back and then what happened here? Everything's falling over, you know. It was so quick. And after I realized, when I saw all the things bouncing up.
What's that, for the newspaper or something?
Yeah, but I think here there is an explosion, just like seeing very shaking, you know, and boom, something like that, but not really because we was a bit far, living 7th Street, so it's 5 blocks straight up. And our house is not very damaged too.
It's
just
not
on the back.
much damage there either. At your home there isn't that much damage.
No, just all the china you got on top of the open thing and in the kitchen everything fall over from because the carpet got open, so everything fall over.
Well, that walls we've had to be...
But most of the damage was the ornamental thing. I have a few glasses and then ornamental, plenty ornamental.
What about the walls?
But not much of the other thing.
Well, thank you very much for the interview. Strange to walk down the street and such an eerie feeling. Nobody in it. No one's allowed into the street in Beaumont Street. It's all quiet here, excepting an alarm has gone off. Only a lonely dog wanders around through the hovel. Lady was going to Fiji on a holiday. And what sort of a holiday will it be? They'll all be asking about the earthquake in Beaumont Street.
They will.
And will you... where were you when the actual earthquake hit?
In my lounge room.
Yes.
I was going to getting a tape ready for my daughter to put on for a show for me that night.
Ah, yes.
And it was a funny experience. I couldn't even explain it.
Oh, do try to explain it. There are some funny things happen.
Well, I didn't think it was funny, to be honest.
No. You were trying on the dress.
I was, well, put it this way, all I had on was a towel, to be honest. I just got out of the shower.
Oh,
Getting ready for
it'd be very embarrassing if the house had to come right down around you. Yes, I've struck a few people that were caught in the shower.
Oh, as I said,
And in other places too, I can tell you that. So, what did you actually think?
Well, I don't know.
Did you think it was a bomb or what?
Would you believe I thought I'd done it with the video?
With the video, you thought it'd blown up. Oh, God. You'd left the video on while you were in the shower.
Oh, no, it's on all the time, you know. But I went to put the tape in.
Oh, yes.
And for my daughter for that night, because we were leaving.
Yes.
And I had it all ready for her to tape that night for me.
Oh.
But
Well,
it was
it's
not
bad.
a real good start from the holiday, but...
Yes, it's a shocking thing, standing here in Beaumont Street, seeing it so empty.
Yeah, it's
An eerie feeling.
It really is.
Eerie.
As I said, we're walking down there, it was that quiet. You know?
Yes. Well, thank you very much for that interview. It's quite interesting, that. Devastated post office. We come to this young lady here, and you had an experience at Garden City, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
And what happened to you at Garden City?
Well, I was working in Woolies, and everything started to shake and things started to fall off the shelves. And when I looked up, because I was wrapped around another girl, we were cuddling each other, we thought we were going to die.
Yeah.
And we looked up and the shelves went right over, just about touched, and stood back up. Then the lights all went out and people were screaming and that. And grabbed customers and helped them out. Had to climb over part of the ceiling to get out. And we still thought it was, you know, some Woolies bomber or something. We didn't realise it was an earthquake.
Oh, yes, there was that mad bomber running around.
Yeah, we thought someone had bombed the place.
And when you were told it was an earthquake, what did you think then?
Couldn't believe it. I said, no, couldn't be. Couldn't have been. But that was, you know, we raced across the road to ring the manager,
Yes.
the Bill Air, and I said, oh, you copped it here too. I thought they got the shock from the bomb. Still thinking it was a bomb. And they just said, no, it's an earthquake. We just heard it on the radio. And then we heard all the sirens, and they were all going towards town, and I said, something's bad's happened in town. And then we heard not long after that the workers' club had gone. That was the worst part of it.
Yes, there was 9 killed in there, and there was 3 killed out here
Yeah,
in Beaumont Street.
still hard to believe that.
Yes, it puts a funny taste in your mouth. You're wondering what's going to happen next.
That's right.
Well, thank you very much for this interview.
No problem.
It's been quite interesting. The Kent Hotel, it was a wreck. And one of the heroes, in my estimation, was a policeman. And here he is here, and we had him on camera. He was working, he was pulling out the people and throwing bricks everywhere and telling everyone what to do. Actually, where were you when the earthquake hit?
I was outside the post office at Hamilton.
Yes.
Just about to get some mail, and I was outside this bubbler.
Ah, yes.
See here, and just alighted from the police vehicle. When the earthquake came, I observed cracks in the post office wall and the front brick of the building fall off.
Yes.
And noticed the awning which had collapsed across the road here at the chemist, in which we found a elderly woman under the rubble.
That's correct, yes.
She was 78 years of age. She had her legs severed above the knee.
Tell me, at that split second, did you or did you not think of yourself or of other people?
The first
Thought.
thought was for, I guess, everyone else that was around.
It's your job to think about the people.
I think it's more nature than my job. See that everyone else is all right. At that stage, I hadn't been hit by anything, and my first thought was see if I could help someone.
And then I see you at the Kent Hotel. After, just a few seconds later, I'd say, you were working previously there. You did a very good job here in Beaumont Street. And and the people have got a lot to thank that police are around like you that can think straight and think in emergencies. I know if something happened where I was around, I'd like you on my side than against me.
Yes, well, as I say, these things come as second nature. We had, immediately after leaving the chemist here, we went up to the Kent Hotel. I was directed there, and I was with the doctor at the time.
Yes.
Dr. Pat O'Neill, a local doctor that I know very well. We found the body of a deceased male up there, aged about 56 years, and some children, partially buried by rubble. But we also found a number of men up there that had been injured and had severe head injuries.
Well, as I said before, there are some people that stand out in an emergency, and I would definitely say to your face that you are one of them. And thank you very much from the people of Hamilton for your quick action. Thank you. It is a most eerie feeling here in Beaumont Street, Hamilton. A shocking catastrophe that the aftermath is taking its toll because people are picking up the pieces. The business people are trying so hard to get back into their businesses, but the buildings have become very unsafe, as I will show you in a few moments. Fancies here in Beaumont Street, Islington, had shifted with the rubble of the cars going past, and they have to demolish that portion, well, that portion of Beaumont Street. Part of Beaumont Street will be gone forever. It is a shocking situation. The face of Beaumont Street in Hamilton has changed. A shocking falling of buildings came down in the street. Here is the last shots that you will possibly see of Clancy's in that section of Beaumont Street. It is unsafe to proceed any further than this at this present moment. Chemist shop. And what actually happened when you were in the chemist shop?
I was looking at the pictures, you know, somebody else, you know, and as soon as they get the shop, I think the plane was crashed.
You thought a plane had crashed?
Yeah. As soon as they start to move it, everything, you know,
Yeah.
everybody just go out.
Was there much
But also,
panic?
you know, the Hemis on the other side, saw the people when they're walking under.
Yes.
I saw the man when he got killed.
You actually seen him when he got killed?
Yes, all this.
The,
When he got under the plane.
Oh, yes.
But, I see the very bad picture, you know.
And what happened then? Did you rush to a hotel to have a drink, or did you rush home to see how the
I didn't
people
rush
were?
nowhere, you know, I was straight away to the doctor, you know, to Dr. Robinson.
Oh, you went to the doctor
Yes.
then?
I got shake myself, you know.
Ah?
I got a very bad day, you know.
You'd
I
had
still gone to the hospital. I see a couple of doctors, you know.
Oh, yes. It shook you up very badly.
Oh, yeah, but I'm still all right.
The gentleman was caught in Beaumont Street in Hamilton when the earthquake actually hit. What happened to you?
I get right, one, the left foot on the footpath, the other one on the
Yes.
on the road. Nearly I fell, I turned around, I see the church open and close it like that.
And that's what happened with the church.
That's what happened with the church opposite there. Denison Street and Beaumont Street.
And what actually did you think at that precise moment?
Something first unusual, and after big noise, and the tremor.
A tremor.
The tremor.
You
That's
knew it
what-
was an earthquake. Why did you know
Oh
it was
yeah,
an
because
earthquake?
with experience I get another one before I come in here in Australia.
Oh, you come from Greece, don't you?
Yeah,
And over in Greece they suffer quite
They
a
get
bit
few
of
times,
earthquakes.
and bigger than this one.
Yes. But there was a lot of damage done here,
Oh
you must
yes,
admit.
I walking through the Beaumont Street and I see before all the damage you get.
Yes. Well, I thank you for this interview, and I wish you all the best for the
Thank you.
new
Thank you,
year.
Ryan. Thank you, same to you, and I wish everybody feels sorry for the people get killed or damaged, anything like that.
Yes. There's a lot of suffering around.
Yeah, a lot of suffering. Lost of properties and everything. I feel sorry for them, but we can't do nothing except to help them. That's it.
Yeah. Church, the gentleman described he's seen move. Down here, you see everything that had fallen off the top. Now, it's a wonder somebody wasn't killed there. Of course, the construction work is going on now. There's cracks appearing all over this church. In Beaumont Street, in Hamilton. Flats were hit here. You can see the aftermath. This is the damage to flats. There are people up here that have been made homeless through this. There are people who were out unemployed, and that wasn't bad enough for them, but this had to happen. Look as though you haven't got much damage.
No, well, compared to
Some people. But you did get damage in the house.
It's not belong to me, it belongs to my sister-in-law. I
Your
got a
sister-in-law.
harm, I got a harm. I got my harm, yeah.
Where was you when it happened?
Paralysed, couldn't talk. When it happened, this
Yeah, when the earthquake hit.
The 28th.
Yes, but when it hit, where were you?
Oh, inside.
Inside. And what did you think it was?
What do you think it was? I don't know what it was. Just a car.
You thought it was an earthquake? Did you? Or did you think it was a bomb or what?
Yeah, that's what it was.
It sounded like a bomb.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
And what did you think when the earthquake hit? Where were you? In the kitchen or?
No, the bedroom.
In the bedroom?
Yeah.
And what did you think it was? A bomb or?
Oh, just I feel scared.
You felt scared.
You know?
Yes, and you shook quite a bit, I suppose.
Oh.
Ah,
We still don't get harm, you know.
yeah, it takes a long time to get over this.
Yeah.
And every little noise, you jump.
Oh. Yeah.
Yes. It's a shocking thing. As you can see, the people in Hamilton, in Beaumont Street, they're still earthquake shaken.
Yeah.
And this is the pity of it all. It's the aftermath. It's the people picking up their lives, putting them into place.
Oh my God.
It is a shocking experience for everybody concerned. You had to be in it, to experience it, to realise. And here is another young lady that was at Charlestown Square. Now, when you were at Charlestown Square, tell me at that split second what happened.
I was about to buy some shoes, and I was standing at the counter, and everything went black. And because of the lights, obviously, went out, and the whole building just shook violently.
And what did you think?
I thought, what on earth is happening here? I thought perhaps the car park had gone down or something. And the shop assistant just grabbed onto the desk in front of us, and I sort of immediately thought, well, if something's going to fall, what's above me?
Yeah.
So I looked up, and I was in between two big pylons. I thought, what am I supposed to do? So I ended up standing in between them, just thinking, oh, what's happening? So.
Was you praying at all or anything like that?
No, I didn't have time to think of that.
You didn't think.
I just thought, oh no, what's going on? And then after that, when it stopped, everyone was just sort of standing there going, what was that, what was that? Everyone was relatively calm. And everyone just went out of the shops and out onto the grass outside. And obviously all the shops were closing their doors and locking up so that no one had sort of taken in their things. So it was all relatively calm, and half an hour later we still didn't know what had happened.
You didn't head for the nearest hotel, did you?
Definitely not.
No.
We decided to stay out in the open area where nothing could fall on us if it happened again, and we just waited, and the police finally came and said, don't know what exactly has happened. It's happened all over Newcastle, get your cars and go home.
Now, there wasn't much said, or there was a little bit said, but the extent of Beaumont, when you seen Beaumont Street, what did you think?
It was quite devastating. I went to my sister's and auntie's place to get them before I came home, because I'd heard that Hamilton was quite bad. So when I was driving through, I looked down Beaumont Street and it was just devastation. Down the street, it was awful. And then I started to get really worried about our house, to see how it would be standing. And so I drove down along Newcastle Road and along there, down this street. And then as I was driving, I saw more devastation with chimneys down and walls and all that sort of thing.
When you got home, how was the house?
When I got home, I sort of saw all up here and was quite concerned. When I went into the house, there were just things smashed everywhere, like glasses and ornaments and things falling around. But basically, it was quite all right, especially when I sort of compared it to what I'd seen around the place. So.
And there's one thing about it, you're alive.
That's exactly
That's the
right.
main thing.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
The house is in one piece and I'm fine. So.
Well, thank you very much
No
for this
problem.
interview, and I hope that 1990 brings better luck to you.
Indeed. Oh, and of course we lost the chimney.
You lost the chimney?
The chimney, your
Ah,
we moved out of place and it fell down.
Oh.
No, it didn't fall down. We had to bring it down the next couple of days.
Yes.
It was unsafe.
A lot of the chimneys around here went down.
All of this street went down.
Yes.
And if you look around Hamilton, most of the chimneys have been taken down because they were obviously dangerous and unsafe.
Mm. Well, once again, I thank you for this interview, and I wish you...
for my appearance.
Well, we can't see anything, I can tell you that now. You're looking quite bright, and a gentleman that was broke at the time the earthquake hit. And what was your story? How did you find out that we'd had an earthquake in Beaumont Street?
Well, we were there, we had the tremor up there, and it took the ground around a little bit, but we just thought it was an ordinary earth tremor.
Yes.
And we didn't realise things happening in Hamilton or in Newcastle until we saw the TV news at 11:30. And we found that was the first indication we had that things was wrong.
And you tried to get through to the wife?
Couldn't get through to the wife, or nobody got through on the telephone either way.
Yes.
And friends of ours from Sydney rang through.
Yes.
They rang here, and then they rang me and broke and told me the wife was all right.
Of course, you live at the back of Beaumont Street.
Yes.
And this is where all the earthquake actually hit here in Beaumont Street.
The epicenter,
Mm. And did you have any damage to the house?
Our house, yes. The chimney came through the roof and extensive damage inside as far as cracks are concerned. A lot of crystal, crockery, broken glass, and sort of thing, all over the floor. Soot and dirt everywhere. But actually no structural damage.
Well, there was one thing, your wife was alive, and that was
the main thing, yes.
the main thing.
Concerned about that. But once I found out about that among the police, they said there was no point in coming down because it would only create more havoc.
That's true.
Once she was all right, well, we didn't worry so much then.
Mm.
But the son came down from Inverell from holidays, and he got through and picked her up and took her up to back with us.
Well,
we were lucky. He had to walk in from Hamilton School.
He had a what?
He had to walk in from Hamilton School. He parked up at Hamilton School.
And he was caught there?
Yeah, he heard it on his two-way radio in his car.
Yes.
And he came down to see what happened, and he couldn't get past Hamilton School at the time because they were putting the barricades up.
Yes.
And he came in and picked the wife up there, or his mother, and took her back up the road. Out of the way because the place next door to us, the double-story place, had brick damage and chimney damage. They thought it might have fallen on the house. So they told her to get a dual in personal possession to get out. So that's what she did. And we only come back on Sunday night.
Well, all I can say at this stage is Happy New Year for 1990, and I hope to God you have better luck than what's happened. I hope Newcastle and especially Hamilton has more better luck than they've had in the last few weeks.
I'm sure they will have. Anyway, we're lucky to be alive, and a lot of people got worse off than us. We're very happy.
Well, thank you very much for this interview.
No problem.
11th of January, 1990, and we're in Islington, and dawn is rising over Islington shopping. Traffic is bypassing. I don't know what damage it is doing to the buildings, because the buildings are in a very unsafe way. as you can see. But the authorities here in Newcastle are playing a very funny waiting game. There's damage everywhere, and there's a lot of unsafe buildings. They're wondering what to do with. Side of the street of Islington, there has been shops hit here, some without windows, and the funny part about it is some with windows. Very deeply indeed. They say that every picture tells a story, and that certainly does tell a story. But today there's a lot of demolition going on around in Hamilton and also in Newcastle itself. Beaumont Street buildings have become unsafe. Here are some of the construction workers removing the aerials from the tops of these buildings and going in to Beaumont Street. They will be heartbreaks here in Hamilton, and they are starting to demolish. People are demolishing their homes. The danger is here. That was a beautiful home once, and now look at it. It's a wonder more people were not killed in the city. Where you look, you see places that are being condemned, places ready to fall down. As I said, Hamilton Rumble used to be a Chinese cafe, and take away Chinese. Even the store next door has been damaged, as you can see. Many, many years it will take to get back into order Hamilton. It's saddening and heartbreaking. Beaumont Street, Hamilton. Clancy saves the day. It's a pity that somebody hadn't saved the day for Clancy's. But as I said in Merry Christmas 1989, that they were brave people in that building. Here is a look at the other side of Beaumont Street and Tudor Street. And Clancy's is to be pulled down later on in the day. In front of me I have the proprietor, Ian, who's the proprietor of Clancy's. Tell me, how do you feel now that the Clancy's is going to be pulled down?
I suppose sad in some ways. I mean, we've been here for 3 years, and you know, the building's been here obviously a lot longer, but now it's going to be done. You know, the face back's got to be done, and we'll be glad when it comes down.
Well, there's one thing about it. Everybody down the street's saying, you know, it's a pity about Clancy's and how sorry they are that they won't be able to shop there.
Oh yeah, but once it comes down, we get it fixed up. It'll only be a matter of probably a couple of months, I suppose, at most, and we'll be back bigger and better and stronger than ever. So, you know, we don't mind.
You're either an optimist or I think it'll take longer than a couple of months.
Oh no, we've got these budding workers here. They're all ready to get in as soon as it comes down and get us back on the right tracks. I mean, a great mob of blokes done the right thing for us, and as soon as it's over, they'll all be in there again and try to get us into business.
Well, that's good. It's nice to see. Outside of Clancy's, they are about to remove the lighting of the streets. As I said before, Beaumont Street is going to change space completely. scene is outside Clancy's, which they're going to demolish later on today. And here in the building that is cracked, as you can see, along the side watching over this activity is a lonely little Santa sitting in the window, looking over Beaumont Street. That is how sad that this street has become. Businesses have lost millions of dollars here. NBN, the local television station, are setting up their cameras. Reporters, police. And whilst waiting for the Clancy's to be pulled down, which is a blow to the people in Newcastle, the proprietress is sitting in the gutter. Just sitting there. How do you feel about it?
How do I feel? Definitely not with my hands.
You could still joke about it.
Well, you have to, don't you? You've got to be, you know, have optimism.
Yeah.
It'll be bigger and better, won't it?
That's true. And next to you, you have a young lady that works in Clancy's. I can't hear you. How do you feel about Clancy's being pulled down? You feel sad, do you?
I feel sad.
Have you got any comments to make about it?
Well, it's just so much part of my life, you know. I feel as if I'm losing something.
Where were you when that earthquake hit?
I was upstairs in the cash roll.
And how did it feel?
Terrifying. Terrifying.
You heard all the screams downstairs, I suppose, too?
No, I didn't hear the screams. I saw the buildings across the road falling down.
Yes.
And I really thought out the front, because I was up the front of our building, and I thought that was going to go through. I thought I was going to go.
And the other young lady here, where were you when the earthquake hit?
I was down the back near the fridges.
Near the
Trying to dodge
fridges?
Yeah, the
Oh.
yogurts were flying off the shelf at me.
And how did you feel in yourself? What was your first thoughts?
I thought a semi-trailer had hit the back of the shop.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
where I was standing, all I could see was bricks and dust, and I thought it had hit the back, semi had hit the back of the shop.
Yes, there was a big roar with
A
it,
big
wasn't
bang,
it?
and then all the floor started to, it was like a wave.
You had no shoes with.
Well, there they are, still waiting for the customers that have always shopped at Clancy's. Now, how do you feel about Clancy's going?
Sad. I'm getting this lady's coming out to cancel me because I only lost my husband 4 months ago.
Yes.
And I'm very sad about it because it's too far for me to go. Got no way of getting there at the other shops.
Yes, it was handy too.
Yes, it's a lovely shopping centre.
You lived right in Beaumont.
I've lived here for nearly 40 years,
Hamilton.
over 40 years.
And where were you when the earthquake hit?
Well, I was down to the lady's place and I'd come around the back way.
Oh, yes.
All over the thing to get to my family.
Yes.
I come over to get to my family because I thought they'd be underneath it. I had family, so I lived near the police station.
Well, thanks very much for
It's very sad.
telling us your feelings on
Yeah, it's
Clancy's.
shocking. Not on everybody in Beaumont Street.
Yeah. I think at Christmas time they prayed for a miracle, and this is what happened. All around the sides there, as you can see, if the people had been walking down here, they would have been killed. Yes, it's amazing how some places were hit, and yet over here, a sandwich bar right in the middle of things. This is the story what happened in here when the earthquake was on. Establishment when the earthquake hit. And could you speak up a little louder because I can't quite pick you up here. And you were here, and what happened?
Place started shaking and shimmering and
Yeah.
place flying around and bang, like a bomb went off.
Oh, yeah. Quite a bit of excitement. Cups of coffee go everywhere?
Oh, yeah. Plates, everything going.
But the amazing part is that there was no damage done here.
No, not to the building itself, only goods and things they had to get rid of, you know.
Yes.
The old lady, she ran past me like a rocket.
Oh, yes.
I thought she's 4-year-old.
That's the lady here. And you rushed past him like a rocket, did you?
Oh, well, she did.
And yet there's no damage in the building. That's the most amazing part of it.
The noise, you know.
And how did you feel when you...
Well, after I got outside, my head was just like a lump of lead.
She felt herself when she went outside.
Just like a lump of lead. It was like it all day.
And where were you when the earthquake actually hit? What was you doing?
I was making a hamburger for a gentleman, but I've never seen him since.
Oh, yeah.
He ran out, just ran, he went for his life.
What did you say? Where did that customer go?
No, I just said, what was that?
Ah.
Yeah, we all said, what's that, a bomb?
You thought it was a bomb,
Yeah,
yeah.
it just sounded like a bomb went off.
And what happened when they told you it was an earthquake?
Oh,
Yeah, the footpath.
we were out standing on the footpath, and the footpath was just trembling.
Yes.
And someone said, oh no, gas has gone off down the corner. And then about 3-4 minutes later, we heard it was an earthquake. And oh, we just all, you know, we were all shattered. And we were travelling because the footpath was going like that. It was going backwards and forwards. Yeah. It was unbelievable. And it was marvellous the way the police acted so quickly and got us out of our shops, and they've done a wonderful job.
Yes, the police have done an absolutely marvellous job here.
Wonderful job they did. And we just had to stand on the road in Denison Street there for so many hours, you know, waiting for them to get things organised and that. Finally we got into the shop that night and got our handbags out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they
Quarter to 6
at night.
And I'm reporting in Beaumont Street in Hamilton. As I said before, some places got all the blunt of the earthquake, others didn't suffer anything. Possibly a couple of hamburgers have not been paid. On the street, everyone has been shifted back to beyond the barriers, because very soon up in Beaumont Street, they're bringing the heavy machinery in to pull down plants. The police are going in, removing people from the building. They're putting cables into the building so that they will pull the building over of Clancy's onto the street. But what they're afraid of is that when they pull it over, it will cause heavy machinery now. It could vibrate the buildings. It has become a very dangerous situation here in Beaumont Street. Only officials are allowed anywhere near and all work will commence, and you will see that building coming down of Clancy's. First, the big machinery is coming down to the pavement. There could be buildings cracked here soon, and they could come tumbling down with a weight onto the roads. So far, so good. Buildings are very uncertain. Now getting ready to demolish. Cameras are in place of NBN. They're moving him now to demolish Clancy's. There goes one portion of Clancy's. Dust, grit, bricks are stewed over Beaumont Street. People are still walking through. It astounds me. Police have to direct them. This is the pulling down of Clancy's. dust and debris everywhere. Beaumont Street, 1990. Be forgotten. That is Beaumont Street. They're very busy demolishing it down here in Beaumont Street. There shall be very little to see here. The buildings have become unsafe. They're allowing some people to go through, The buildings are very, very unsafe here in Beaumont Street. As the traffic is flowing through, they seem to be vibrating through and making every other building unsafe here. What's left of the Roxy after demolition took place. It's certainly goodbye to Beaumont Street, Hamilton, as we knew it, as the shoppers and as the locals. There's the Kent Hotel, and that's where 2 lives were lost, and outside of the chemist shop further up, 1 life was lost. It certainly has been a tragedy here in Hamilton. The gentleman here that is demolishing, he's having a little break here. Tell me, where were you when the earthquake took place?
I was out on the Lake Macquarie, so I didn't sort of feel the same effect as it here. I live up in Hamilton though, so the house I lived in had a little bit of damage.
A little bit of damage there. And what did you think on Beaumont Street?
This has been the worst hit. It's had the most structural damage throughout Newcastle, besides some of the larger buildings like the Workers' Club in town.
Yes.
But as you can see, there's a lot of buildings being hit here and a lot has come down.
Yes, the locals are feeling it. This is a shopping centre for the locals, and it's a tragic thing for them, as you must admit. Everybody is devastated with this thing. How do you feel about having to pull all these buildings down?
Well, some buildings, it's sad to see them go because they're, been here for a long time, and they're nice old buildings. It's a bit scary what might replace them, but also you've got to look that they're very unsafe and they're dangerous to the public. If they don't come down, well, they might fall on someone's head.
Well, the traffic, I notice, is making them more dangerous as the vibration is hitting the buildings.
Well, this street's been closed off to all traffic bar the demolition people who are coming in with trucks and so forth. They know what they're doing, so it's the general public traffic, well, no cars are in here.
Right, thanks very much for this interview. 12th of January 1990. They're very, very busy demolishing the buildings here in Beaumont Street. It has become a heartbreak for these business people, for the owners, and also for the workers, as you just found out. Very sad indeed. This is Beaumont Street on the 12th of January 1990. Dressing in the cut price. They're working at the tops of these, getting rid of the bricks. It has been a devastation to the owners of This is the gentleman that has been proprietor and serving all the customers in Hamilton, and also the owner over this side of the building. Tell me something, how do you feel now that the building is being demolished?
How would you feel, George?
Very depressing.
Yes, everybody's saying it's depressing.
Yes, yes.
Their buildings. Do you think the street will change very much?
No, I don't think so. I think it'll be back better than ever.
And how about you, sir?
Hopefully it'll be better.
Better. It's going to cost a lot of money to put that in order.
A lot of money, a lot of time.
A lot of money and time.
Yes.
Where were you when the earthquake actually hit?
In the office.
In the office?
Yes.
What happened? Can you tell me that?
Oh, started shaking. Straight away I felt it was an earthquake. I thought it was, so I yelled out earthquake, and told everyone to get out of the shop. We ran to the back door and everyone was clear of the shop. And I ran around to the front of the shop and saw the destruction it had caused.
And how about you, sir? Where were you when the earthquake?
Very far, King.
You were what?
Paradise.
I was up in Queensland.
Ah,
The beach didn't shake.
The beach.
Didn't
You
shake at
were
all.
having a holiday out there.
No,
He was in bed with a young lady.
Hey, keep it clean now.
He thought the earth was moving under his feet.
the bed was going. Bazoom, 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 bazoom.
She thought it was
and
wonderful.
she said, I love it, I love it, I love it.
You're not typing him, mate.
That's the way, the Australian way of life. They can joke about these things after.
Can they?
And this is what happens and is happening here in Beaumont Street on the 12th of January. Thank you very much. I've got shakes myself. This is Beaumont Street as you will see it now, but later it will change. People will change. The effect has been colossal on people. The holes are appearing in the roads where they are digging up the gas mains. Electricity has been restored here in certain parts. Gentlemen, tell me something, sir. Where were you when the earthquake took place?
I am at the Mayfield. I live in the Mayfield.
In Mayfield?
Yes. I go in the Mayfield town. I am this time on shopping. I feel something.
Yeah.
I am from Cephalonia, 53, big earthquake there.
Oh, yes.
2 big earthquakes, demolition and everything.
Oh.
And I'm scared from this time. 5.
Yeah.
Don't forget. I feel this earthquake and the Mayfield and the shopping jump out for half second. 2, 3 women in the front of me go there. So I stupid bastard.
Yeah.
Because don't know, you see?
Yeah.
I go out, half earthquake out. See me and the Putugai.
Yeah.
Lucky, building no demolition, you know?
Yes.
I still alive, that's it.
Yeah, you're still alive, and
Yes.
that's the main thing.
Yeah.
What
But still fried, come back into my place, stay in. No more sleeping into my place because it's brick house.
Yes.
I fried it, I scared. No go anymore in.
And what about your house? Was that damaged at all?
Damages, yes, no much.
Not much.
No
but
much.
A bit of damage.
Yeah.
I think everybody got damaged in
Yes.
Newcastle in some way. Right?
Oh, maybe 30% for
And
sure.
tell me, what do you think of Beaumont Street?
Belmont Street I see now.
Isn't it
Because
shocking?
I am in the Belmont Street now, I
Yeah.
see. Come special for see, you know?
Yes, to have a look at it.
Yeah, have a look.
It's been hit very hard here.
Anyway, I'm very worried for earthquakes because, tell you before, 53 and my island, Cephalonia, you know?
Yes.
Demolish and everything. No stay one house. From the bottom. Demolish.
And that is another gentleman that was at Mayfield, another suburb in Newcastle, not very far away from the centre, which this was the centre of the earthquake. This is the scene still in Beaumont Street, where people are still earthquake shaken. They'll never get over this. Clancy's on the 12th of January 1990. A devastated street is Beaumont Street. They're blocking it off now. Hamilton, devastated as it is. There is a lady here, a very nice lady, that she lives in Hamilton. Is that correct?
That's right, yes.
And you, where were you when the earthquake actually hit?
Well, I was at Bilo at the bank corner there.
Yes.
And I was walking down one of the aisles
Yes.
with my trolley full of groceries. And all of a sudden my feet went from underneath me.
Yes.
And all the groceries and bottles and everything fell in front, and I held onto my trolley and I just froze like that. And I thought, oh gee, there's an aeroplane's crashed on the roof. And then I heard, you know, bang on the roof. And of course, then all the girls came around and got us all out.
Was there much screaming or panic or anything
No,
like that?
no, there was
It's
no
funny,
panicking.
everybody was orderly.
No,
and,
yes, yes. What happened was all the girls from Bilo came around and told us all to go outside
Yes.
and leave our groceries there. So that's what we all did, and there was no panic or anything.
There was no panic at all.
No. There was a lot of damage at Bilo.
And what about your home? Was that damaged?
No, our home was it's a solid brick home, and there was no cracks inside or outside. I only had a few breakages of glasses and, you know, little odds and ends in the house.
Well, somebody has to be lucky in this.
Well, we were very, very lucky. We were really fortunate.
Any of
One
the
the
houses
real lucky
around
ones.
you hit?
Well, a few little cracks and chimneys down.
Mm.
But we were three streets down off Beaumont Street.
Oh, yes.
So,
you were lucky. When you look at Beaumont Street,
Oh.
that's terrible.
that's right, yes.
Yes.
Oh, it's devastating down here. You know, this is the first time I've just come down to have a look at it. And Dave, it's incredible, you know. Every building.
Yes, I thank you for this interview.
Yes.
That is Beaumont Street. That is the reaction of the people. The changing face of Beaumont Street here in Newcastle. As I said before, this is the story of the little people. The demolishers are hard at work here. That is where our home was. And they're doing the clean-up of all that rubble. It's a shocking heartbreak that's happened here in Hamilton. Very hard at work here, demolishing these homes. Here is one of the owners of a property which is to be demolished. The property is the little wooden one, isn't it? And was there anybody in there at the time?
Yes, I was in there at the time.
And
in
what
the bathroom, thank goodness, which is the only room that escaped damage.
And you were actually having a bath?
I'd just had a shower, yes.
You wouldn't have very much on, would you?
No, I didn't, but it didn't matter, I just ran.
You just ran out into the street?
Yes.
Tell me, how did you feel at that precise moment?
I really didn't know what I felt. I thought there'd been a gas explosion and then all the bricks started to rain through the roof and just didn't know what to think. It was just a matter of get out quick.
To save your own life?
That's right.
Well, I think that's the way everybody felt, saving themselves.
We were luckier than others.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for this interview.
You're welcome.
And we take another look at the devastation. The house next door is demolished. That was the bricks that were raining down on the gentleman's home. And across the road from it, it's ironic that the Salvation Army that had done so much during the earthquake for the people of Newcastle, that is what is happening right opposite. And how do you feel that your building is coming down now?
Well, that's
being demolished.
That's not nice, isn't it?
No.
See the property coming down, that's not nice.
No. Your business is gone
And the
from
house
here.
gone.
And the house?
And the house, upstairs.
Upstairs? Oh, that's right, you lived here.
Yeah.
And so you've lost everything.
That's right.
It's terrible.
The only thing I just saw is the sign. Crystal
Up there.
confetti.
Well, I'll take a close-up of this. Crystal confetti. There's the gentleman who's looking over everything. He's lost everything. Wiped out his home, his business. One can't help but feel sorry for the people that were caught up in this catastrophe here in Beaumont Street in Hamilton, Newcastle. As I look around at all the things that are going on, I wonder why wasn't there so many more people? Here in Beaumont Street, they are putting all around the buildings there in effect from the cleaning up from the rats, the shocking things. People are devastated here. All photographers have clamoured to Beaumont Street to get their pictures. Where were you when the earthquake hit?
Sitting at home having a cup of coffee. First place to be.
I was right here with the camera.
Oh, you're kidding.
I am not kidding. On the video that is out now, as you've seen, or have you seen the video?
No.
Oh, well, we're following up with the second one.
Right.
From the Islington and the news agency, which was opposite and still trading, and never got damaged inside, so they are naturally still trading. And his wife over here, and the proprietor of the news agency here in Islington. Tell me, where were you when the earthquake actually hit?
I was at the back of the shop there in the office, and I thought it was a plane coming over, and I stood there and I couldn't move. It was absolutely terrible.
Yes, it's amazing how many people have described it as that a plane crashing on the roof.
And we had the roof crumbling in here, and looking out the front of the shop, we could see the shop opposite the old aquarium building and the awning coming down in the antique shop.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, our building's next, it's going to come down shortly, so, but it didn't, fortunately, and we're still here. Still trading, but at a reduced pace, of course.
Now, it's a very sad day for Islington and Hamilton because opposite you, most of the shopping centre will be gone. Now, how do you feel about that?
Well, it would mean, I think, almost a death knell to Islington, because we were a pretty close community. We now have no shops on the other side of the road at all. I think the people are just going to leave and go elsewhere and shop, and to get them back is going to be very difficult indeed. Very difficult.
But it's become dangerous with all the traffic that is going through Islington, and the buildings will have to come down.
Yes, well, there's a lot of cracks over there, and the vibrations caused by, particularly by trucks and buses, that won't help it at all. We'll all be sort of looking at what's going to fall next, unfortunately. So we've just got to be very, very careful, very careful.
Well, all I can say is Happy New Year.
Well, same to you, Ray, and all the very best.
Yeah.
I hope everything goes well for us.
I hope so too.
Thank you, Dave.
Flowing through Islington, as you can see, and Islington is one of the surviving shops. Proprietor of this business, and what is the name of this business?
Decker Gardens.
Oh yes, and where were you when the earthquake actually hit?
Inside here.
How did it feel here?
Like a big rumble.
Yes.
And a big thump. Eventually calmed down.
Have you got much damage here? About $5,000 worth. Well, in comparison to Beaumont Street, actually you were lucky.
Yeah.
And across the road, which is opposite you, you know they're going to demolish that in the next couple of days?
Yes, I believe so.
And how do you feel about all this traffic so heavy on the road? It seems to be vibrating the buildings around here.
I'm not qualified really to answer that. I wouldn't know whether it does affect it or not. It doesn't affect us, but I suppose there are other people might be affected.
Well, there's one thing about it. At least you're intact here, and this side of the street seems to have done all right. But the opposite side, as I mentioned before, they are going to demolish it. Thank you very much for this interview.
You're welcome.
The strange part about this is in Maitland Road, Islington, some places were hit and some were not. They're going to lose the face of Islington. A lot of these businesses will go. For instance, next door, which was May 1921, that building, and now it's propped up Everything's ready to fall. The traffic is going past. It's very dangerous here, yet they're making up their minds about things, what's going to be pulled down and what isn't. But they don't realise how dangerous it is with all the traffic going past here and vibrating. They could come down and people could be killed in the street. In 1923, that building was erected. They're old buildings, as you can see. Traffic still flows past here. The vibration gets to these buildings. Whilst along here, the old picture theatre still stands. A lot of happiness was found in that old picture theatre. There's now a carpet factory. Through Islington, it's heavier and heavier because they can no longer go through Beaumont Street. One wonders what is going to happen here in Islington. In May Street, you find that this brick double-story building, there are cracks appearing all over. It has become very, very unsafe. But to show you how the landlords operate here in Australia, and people that do not understand English very well, out of the house, you find that cracks are appearing everywhere. This is definitely unsafe for people to be in. Even myself, I'm taking a risk here in filming this. I feel very uneasy about it, and I will be glad when I get out of this building. The kitchen, as you can see, the cracks appearing. There has been in the corner pieces falling off the walls. This is the kitchen. The other was the bedroom. Who are the people that are exploited? It is people that cannot speak English very well, and that's the type of landlord that you have in Australia. There should be a law brought in completely, because this is the type of buildings that they're going to put in. People that cannot understand English do not know what they're getting into. As you can see, they have a small child here. What sort of a future if he was to be damaged or maimed? What sort of a future is it for a young chap and his wife? This is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard of. Person have in a double-storied home such as this, where it's made of bricks. Cracks are appearing in the side of the wall. Here on the side. One wonders what sort of people that cannot give a darn for people's lives. Why would anybody in their right mind put people into this building? Rent is cheap, $65 a week. Yes, you can put a person into a home where it's going to fall down, it can maim anybody, it could kill them, but at $65 a week, where can you go to? What can you get? This is the type of landlord that we have here in Australia. Why do they... You paid a bond on this establishment. How much was it?
For which bond? 390 for which bond and 2 weeks rent.
$390.
$390. Yes.
Plus how much, and 1 week's rent or 2 weeks rent?
Include for which bond and 2 weeks rent.
And 2 weeks rent.
Yeah.
That's $190 plus 65. That's $30. God, it's mounting up. And they've trapped this young couple. And if you went to the landlord, they'd refuse the bond back. They'd find every little trick in the trade to put it over these people. A young family that's starting out in life, and it's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. But you find some landlords are making money out of this earthquake. Even over here, we see the walls at the side. You think they're safe? They're not. You can see the cracks appearing on the veranda. What a place to sleep. How would you feel safe in your own home? How would you feel? Well, these people are left outside wondering whether the house is going to come down, paying such a rent and a bond. Disgusting. Thank you, Australia, for what a wonderful job you've done. Thank you for bringing us into this country and looking after us. Yes, there'll be a lot of red faces over this. In Islington and Newcastle, well, in Islington in particular, people are moving out from their flats, as you can see. They're shifting while they can. I wonder if there'll be any people put into this building that said it's unsafe, and yet it isn't unsafe, as you can see. But however, that's the way the council works here in Newcastle. I wonder what else is going to emerge as I am proceeding through this film. Heartbreaking here. Street, Islington. There are two homes, side by side, that got hit. You can't see the damage on the outside, but the inside is shocking. To clear out from these buildings a lonely little bike stands. Through the rubble, but when you closely inspect these buildings, we find a strange part about this is that the windows were not damaged. They've even still got Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. How heartbreaking for the residents of these buildings. Further down the road in Fern Street, you see these buildings were damaged and they're being propped up. These brick buildings are becoming very unsafe here in Islington. As the traffic is going past, they're getting more unsafe. And just in case the wires come down, they've reinforced all the wiring here. I had bought a home unit in Fern Street, and they just recently moved in, and the home unit was upstairs here. Or during this earthquake pushed forward, cracks have appeared above. In one bedroom, which is facing Beaumont Street, there has been cracks appearing, and it feels as though it's going to go any minute. Well, Paul, you certainly had a pretty hard go of it. You just bought this unit up there.
Mm-hmm.
You were doing it up and doing it up very nicely.
Yeah.
And look what happened. Where were you actually when the earthquake
I was
hit?
down in Sydney at the time. I bought this place here for my retirement, but it looks like my retirement's going to be put back another 3 years now.
And do you know the strange part about this council is that they're allowing the traffic to go past?
Yeah, well, the traffic's not going to help it at all.
No.
Not going to help it at all. They said they can save it, all right, but it just needs them to get to it very promptly to do something.
Yes.
But at this stage, not done anything.
Well,
they're a bit slow, in other words, working to fix it.
I'm very sorry for what has happened to you, because you've had a bad run from Newcastle.
Yeah, well, it's happened to a lot of other people, I suppose. It's had some consolation, but...
Yes, in the first film that we released, it's been very difficult indeed, the earthquake, naturally.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you look as though you still could smile. That's one of the things you've just got to smile in this. Well, thank you very much.
All right.
And all I can say is Happy New Year and the best of luck for the future.
Yeah, right.
This is the outside. There's the cracks appearing, and transport, they've opened up for transport to come past here. Trains to go past, you can imagine what it's going to do to this building. This is how people have been caught here in Newcastle. The end of Beaumont Street and part of Islington here. Street and Beaumont Street. And this house is on the corner. It looks quite solid, one would say. What happened to it? Of the wall in Fern Street. And as you can see, it's double brick. And it's the outer layer that has been hit the most from the outside here. Bedroom. You find cracks appearing everywhere. This is a catastrophe for a lot of people. People are heartbroken. Over here, there's cracks in the walls there. And in the second bedroom, we find cracks appearing along the walls there. It is absolutely shocking what has happened to a beautiful home, which I always admired. Lounge, as you see, there's damage to the walls. Over here, getting close up, you can see where the dust has come through. The shake was so bad. Proud of the home. And here, you see in the lounge room where people had many and many a moment in here, the happiness that was shared. Recently, she lost her husband. That was a big enough blow, but this is another one on top of it. They're speaking on the wireless of the earthquake. They've put a speed limit of 30 miles an hour. Kitchen, there is one block of bricks ready to fall down. What a heartbreak for the woman that lives here. And you're away on holidays.
Yes, my son's at Fox Farm.
And how did you feel when you came back here?
Terrible.
And when you looked at the place, did you sort of say, can I repair it or what? First thing to your mind.
Going to lose it.
Is it insured?
Oh, yes.
The insurance companies are playing around a bit lately. Yes, they're not giving the full value. And it's a pity because there's so many scandals are coming out, it isn't even funny. These are the victims. This lady had lost her husband recently, and now on top of this catastrophe. Well, it's a funny thing to say, but everybody's saying Happy New Year, which have to be demolished, and still they allow the traffic to flow. Even the buses are coming past in Islington. The vibration can cause so much damage to the buildings that one often wonders what's going on in the people's minds here. In Cole Street, bricks and mortar are the remedy of the day. And over here, there's a wall that has been rebuilt, as you can see. And the gentleman that is in the residence here, where were you when the earthquake actually hit?
When it hit, I was in my room at the time,
Yeah.
which is behind the wall which you've just seen, and I was sitting on my bed at the time when it struck, and as I stood up, I was shaking. The house was shaking so much, I flung back on the bed again, and at which time I ran at the front here and saw the wall, which was hanging on by just a few bricks, and the majority of it was all down on the side here. And what was standing was on a loom so far out from the window that it had actually come away from the window frame and was on the angle like it was.
Nobody got hurt in there at all?
No, there was no injuries at all. Actually, at the time, my mother was in the building as well, and she happened to see a crack in the main lounge room wall open up a good 6 inches before it returned to where it was before the crack appeared. And during that time, she didn't think that it was going to go back, the mortar was going to close again, but the house did shake a lot, and we sustained a lot of damage inside the house. And yeah.
Yes, it's very prompt action on getting your wall fixed.
Oh, yeah.
I must comment on that.
Yeah.
It has been remarkable.
What's the landlord's doing? He was lucky to get a crew of bricklayers to do it with so much work going on at the time from all the bricklayers.
Yeah.
We've had numbers of tradesmen in since the quake hit to give prices on the actual damage that's been done inside. We've mainly got cracks in the mortar and that type of thing. It hasn't been no structural damage at all other than from this wall, and just cracking and that, just minor type things. They are. That's right.
How long have you been in?
Oh, we've been here for about 3 or 4 years now.
Oh, and you're staying here, are you?
Yeah. Well, we're just in the process of moving now, actually, because there's work to be done inside, which it's not major work, but it's work that requires tradesmen in and out a lot. So we're going to leave.
Are you shifting back into it?
At this stage, we're not sure. We don't think so, though, at this stage, no.
Anyhow,
Well, that is the story in Cole Street. They're wishing each other...
I'll see you, Ray.
Yes, well, they're wishing each other a happy New Year. And in the first reel of this film, you've seen the wall that is on the side in the Merry Christmas one, and the Happy New Year film, you see it repaired in me and Nick's hairdressing salon. There's a lot of rubble here. that you'll find that the place is ready to collapse. And they shifted out all that beautiful barber shop has shifted. All that remains is rubble. By the time these pictures are shown. Still they allow the traffic to proceed past in Beaumont Street. The most dangerous street of all. Passing here, they're helping to shake the buildings down. They don't realise what they're doing here. There's sightseers everywhere. Beaumont Street, they seem to be all coming here. Why don't they let the people get on with their job? And days, there is a video shop that's hit very badly. This is the scene on the inside of the video shop. Worldwide Video. As you come down the aisle here, there's destruction everywhere. How anybody lived in it is the most amazing part. There are videos all over the floor. With videos everywhere. Picking up the pieces of Hamilton. Beaumont Street will never ever be the same again. Comedy. Who wants comedy at this time? Yes, we could do with a laugh. This young lady ran the video shop for Bill. And tell me, where were you when the earthquake actually hit?
Behind the counter.
Behind the counter?
Yeah.
In that?
Yeah.
How did you feel?
Scared?
Scared? Did you run for the street?
Yeah, I ran out into the middle of the road as fast as I could.
I think most people that are caught, they had run out from their shops. It's a terrible, there's a lot of destruction going on in Beaumont Street.
Heaps.
Yeah, heaps. They're pulling it down.
It's a completely different place.
And where were you when the earthquake was on? Was you in the shop?
No, we weren't here, sorry.
No, you wasn't here. You're just visiting here.
Well, we live here, but we're on the way home from holiday, so we heard about it on the radio because it's a car.
And you got a shock, did you, about it?
Yes.
How would you like to have been in that shop with the young lady when this happened?
I would have loved it.
You'd have loved it? I tell you, I was in it and I just don't want to experience that again.
No, never.
Never again. It leaves a very nasty feeling in your stomach. Here in Beaumont Street, Hamilton, that is heartbreaking. Home and business, all gone in one hit. They're watering down to save all the lives. Coming. I don't know what they're going to save in Beaumont Street. It's very, very hard to tell. In the historic Beaumont Street, what will be left? Changing face of Beaumont Street. How sad. Kent Hotel. People in business that have been wiped out. It's been a very shocking experience for people all over Hamilton. Here in this street is the rumble of men bringing down buildings to make it safe. They've closed Hamilton right up, and it's official that you will not be allowed in the street unless you're with the workers, or here for a good reason. Before, this is a story about the little people in Newcastle and in Islington. You look at this home, it looks quite good, beautiful, absolutely, it would be a magnificent home. That is the veranda, but we come down and what do we find? A wreckage. There was pillars, everything crashed onto the pavement during that earthquake. It was a shocking day. But that is not the argument. That means nothing. The people don't mind. People are caught up in earthquakes. We've been through floods, and now this earthquake. We couldn't go through much more, but you can go through more, and you will go through more, because as I mentioned before, the Lord Mayor and councillors, the government. Now there's Mr. Hawke. He's looking after the little people. We're so glad that he's looking after the little people, so very glad. But there is one gentleman here that is not very, very glad about it at all. This gentleman in front of me, he owns, with his friend, this home here, and you've had a lot of trouble, but you've paid off the home. Is that correct?
Yes, in 3 years.
In 3 years. That was a quick way of paying it off, and this has to happen.
Yeah, at first we were quite devastated about it because we had no insurance.
Yes.
And we didn't know what we were going to do, and then we heard the government announce that they were going to give out $25,000 low interest loans to people in our situation to help us recover from this earthquake. Well, since then I've been to FACS, which is the Family and Community Service and so forth, and I've been referred to other bodies, and I've been sent around the mill, and I finally got to some people who call themselves the Mortgage Welfare Board or something along those lines, who are in charge of handing out the loans, and have been refused, told that I don't qualify for a loan because I don't earn enough money and we're at poverty level and we're a charity case. And they've told me to go to the Lord Mayor's appeal and ask for charity. Well, you know, I'm a hard-working person. I work 6 days a week. My co-owner is a dietitian at the Royal Newcastle Hospital, and we don't want the charity. We want the $25,000 loan that we're quite able and willing to pay back so we can repair our home and get on with our lives. I'm very perturbed about the situation that ministers of this government go on television, on the media, talking to the public, saying that they'll do this and do that, and then when people like us, the poor little people, go after what they say they'll give us, it isn't there. It's just propaganda, you know. So where do we stand now? We wait for a handout from the Lord Mayor. I don't want their handouts. I don't want their charity. I want the $25,000 low interest loan that was advertised on Channel 3.
Now, as you can see, this gentleman is quite perturbed in his attitude towards the people that are helping, or so-called people that are helping the little people get back on their feet. Now, you had other people, friends of yours, have had the same experience. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. I know of one woman, a friend, who owns a small business.
Yes.
It was advertised on the media and through the Newcastle Morning Herald that people who own small businesses, the limit of the loan had been raised to $80,000 with a 10-year repayment period. This woman has applied and was just turned away and told that she wasn't going to get anything. So now she's in a position where she's lost her business. She has nothing. But we have government ministers putting in the media that these things, these loans and so forth, are there and available. But when people like me and her go for them, we're refused. They're not there at all.
And they definitely say that you're on the poverty level.
Yeah, poverty level. That was what I was told. I was at poverty level.
Well, we
And
must
don't
all be on the
qualify for
poverty
that.
level.
Yeah, you know.
Everybody that's watching this video
Exactly.
is on the poverty level in accordance to this.
You know, I'm not that poor that I can't afford to pay the government about $200 a week in tax from my wages, but when I go to ask for some assistance from them, I'm told that I'm at poverty level, which I'm really disgusted in. I won't accept. And I won't accept the Lord Mayor's charity. I want the loan from the government, which I'm quite able to pay back.
Well, there you are, you have it. A gentleman, his friend isn't here, but this is their home. This is what they've lost. They want it built up, and they want a loan. They don't want handouts. They're an Australian that's proud and do not want these handouts. The government is so-called saying that they're loans, but as I said before, in this film there's some heartaches and there's a lot of laughs, and I'd say this is heartache and also a laugh at the charity that is being offered to the little people. Maybe the money is to be used here on construction work, or they have damage too. Maybe that is where the money is going to. Who knows? The scandals are emerging with every step that you take. Come into Beaumont Street, seeing what they can of this catastrophe. Children, families. The last of Clancy's is finally going down. Through the dust and rubble, one ponders and one thinks of the people that have been through those doors, people that have served this community. In 23, that building has stood against time. It could not stand against an earthquake. In 45 seconds, the devastation was shocking. This is the aftermath. Whilst people look on in disbelief, the proprietress is standing, looking at the last of this business of plant. And as the hungry machinery chews away at the rubble that is left, one often wonders what is going to become of the stories that are enlightening out of this earthquake here in Beaumont Street. Dust, nothing but rubble down Beaumont Street in Hamilton. Onlookers are watching the work that's demolishing that's going on. What heartbreaks. From Maitland, is that correct?
Yep.
Maitland. And what do you think of Beaumont Street?
Oh, it's a mess.
That's a real mess.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you've got a message for the people in Beaumont Street. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Don't worry, be happy.
Yeah.
And you reckon that's the message for them?
Yeah.
Yes, they've got to pick up their ways in life now.
Yeah.
It's been a shocking...
Everyone stick together and all pull through.
Yes. What's those words again?
Don't worry, be happy.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, mate.
exhausted. The demolishers find anywhere to sleep. Worn out from all this demolishing in Beaumont Street, in Hamilton. And just hard to sleep. I tell you, it is a shocking sight here in Hamilton. Work in progress on the Niagara Cafe, but we find over here also
Hold on a minute. Look at this shot.
Peter Wolf's building will be coming down later on today. Yes, there is certainly a lot of destruction of the old buildings. I wouldn't say destruction because they've got to be put out of the way. Here is the scene. Busy activity. What is going on in the street is unbelievable. Beaumont Street in Hamilton. 1970. Happy New Year. Beaumont Street stands and has stood against this earthquake. It has been a remarkable building, this. Unaffected in many ways through this earthquake. But of course, you enter at your own risk. A lot of business people are trying to get back into business, trying to pick up the small parts. I wonder how Beaumont Street will change. Yes, cracks are appearing in all the buildings around Hamilton, as you can see. Heart breaks by the thousands on a magnificent home here. Sightseers are still flocking here, bringing their children to see the aftermath of the earthquake. Why must people get in the way of workers? It astounds me. Men are trying to clean up, people are getting in the way, arguments develop. Beaumont Street, the demolishers are in, still working on this catastrophe. Wolfie's over here, is going to come down shortly. Whilst in the background we have the amateur cameramen running around, filming madly, getting what shots they can. They're not sure of how to work the cameras, but they're still coming in, getting shots. Horace is overlooking Beaumont Street. Everybody is quite perturbed here about what is going to happen to Beaumont Street. That is on the lips of everybody. What is going to happen? The person is sat in this chair having their eyes tested here at Peter Wolf's, bringing them out of the buildings. There is Peter Wolf's establishment, as you can see the name. Newcastle Building Society, and they are demolishing portions of it. It has become very unsafe. The work construction is going on, pulling down the buildings. The Niagara did not suffer very much. And where were you when the earthquake took place?
I was inside the shop and was serving, we were flat out and serving people. Yeah. And when that happened, I thought it was a bomb in Hamilton. That's what I first thought. And I come out, I rushed out. And as soon as I come out, I see all the buildings, most of the buildings in Hamilton, they were all down. And from then on,
rescue and ambulances and all the first aid people that got here. And from then on, that's it. I saw the chap that got killed in the Salt Patterson's in front of the chemist. And he was stung for words. You couldn't think of anything worse.
Did your customers panic?
Take one?
Did they panic, or was
Oh yes, people that were panicked, screaming, crying. People that just didn't know what to do. We run around like chooks without a head on.
And are you going to build up your business here?
Yes, we hope so with the help of the people and the government. We hope to get back in business as soon as we can.
Yes, and that is your business over here.
That's
the
right.
Niagara Cafe.
Yes.
As you see.
We've been there nearly 35 years.
35 years?
That's right, myself and my brother. Yeah. And before us it was our uncle Mick arranges, which was there. He's been there since 1912 or 1911 if I'm not mistaken. So the business has been in the family for well over 70 to 80 years.
Well, there you are. My history in the making there.
My uncle, he was one of the first Greeks to come to Newcastle. He was 15 years of age when he first came out from Greece.
Well, you've got family history there, and it has stood up against time. The building was built in 1923, which is a long, long time ago.
That's right, yes.
And it stood against that, it stood against an earthquake, so a lot of people were worse off than you. They were hit very...
That's right, we were a bit lucky. We lost one out of the two, so it's not too bad. We're gonna try to, as the builder said, that it'll take about 6 months before we can be able to get the other building ready. But we're lucky we saved one, and that's the main thing.
And as I mentioned before, the Greeks of Hamilton, they've got the Aussie spirit, and they're going to build up this town like you've never seen it before. Bigger and better. Heartbreaks by the thousands. Niagara has been brought down by the demolishers. Section of Niagara is coming off. From this historic building to watch. And they have brought their little children, even in college. There. All in curious at the damage. Curious to see what is going on, getting across the lines that told them that they've got to be on the outside of that line. Yes, they're having a wonderful time watching the disaster that has taken place here in the city. The parents are all out here with their children to get in the most spots. As you can see above, the parts that are cracked, yet down here are the people with the children, even to a little dog here. They're all coming out to see it, not realising what danger they are actually in. The sightseers, the curious. This is the scene on Sunday the 14th. Curiosity. In some cases, curiosity could kill the cat. This is how the scene looks. But these onlookers that have got in the workers' way, it's devastating. Nobody is thinking. Old people, young people, all alike. With the children. And as I mentioned before, up above, Here, a spot right there could give away at any minute. But they're ignoring all this danger that is here in Beaumont Street, Tudor Street in Hamilton. Yes, people do foolish things. It's been a long, hard time for me filming, but I knew that you had to get the videotape, and I had to get a historic film out. I must say that there's a lot of foolish people that have come from out of town to here to watch what they can and get in the way of workers and everything else. But my heart goes out to the business people, to the little people also, the workers, the people that have tried so hard to build up their lives. Now they must start again. And I would predict, well, this is only supposition, we'd say, that the people from Hong Kong who have business passes, they're British passes, passport passes, they are the ones, and I'm sure of this myself, this is my own personal feeling. It is only a supposition. Remember that. I'm not saying that it's fact, it is not fact. But I would say that they would come in, buy up land right around here and place their money right into it. The banks will certainly welcome them. And they'll certainly buy up around here. There's even been offers made as I'm standing here to people with businesses, with homes. But as I said before, my heart goes out to the little people, the business people, and where will they get the money to build up? They can't rely on the government to supply them with all the money to keep going. No, it's definitely one of the shocking stages of this catastrophe that has taken place here. I'd like to just take you on an overall look at Hamilton in, well, Beaumont Street in Hamilton. I'd like to take you for this little look at it. And remember, think of the dead and think of the people that are picking up their lives to rebuild. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, we're open. For what? Oh, personal loans for any worthwhile purpose. This is the back of a bank. The big bank, Commonwealth Bank. The Commonwealth Bank. They're going to look after the, said before, children. The danger that they're in, they don't realise. These buildings could rock down any time. There are people everywhere, curious sightseers, so close to the workers. They're doing the clean-up jobs. Beaumont Street will never be the same as I've said in this film before. Beaumont Street, it'll change. Edgeworth.
Yes.
But especially to see the damage of Beaumont Street.
Well, we haven't been in since it's happened.
No.
This is the first
I
time
just
we've
came in
been
because my daughter works in here.
Your daughter
in this
works
building.
in that building there. It's very unsafe where we're standing, you know that.
I work at Walton Hospital, and our hospital's quite damaged too.
It's quite damaged.
Yeah, inside, yeah, it's a mess. It needs a lot of work.
And what about the lady here? Do you come
This is
from
my
here?
mum.
Oh, that's your mum.
Yeah.
You don't go anywhere without your mum.
No, she just wanted to have a look.
I see.
Where are you from?
Beaumont Street. And here it is. Very soon you will see an aerial shot of Beaumont Street as it is today, the 14th of the 1st of 1970. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. You could hear the people scream. Curious song. Broken Hill, you have come.
Yes.
What do you think of Beaumont Street?
Very bad.
That's very sad indeed. And today, on Sunday, I suppose you said a prayer for the people that have died in the street, and it's been tragic. And you're sightseeing, are you?
Yes, having a look.
Just have a look at the destruction. It has been very sad indeed, yes. What is needed here in Hamilton is help, as you can see. As the onlookers are watching, curious at what has happened in the street, bewildered. Bewilderment is on the people's faces. Curiosity. Workers are very hard to work here. Was that exciting? You thought it was exciting, did you? All the building coming down, eh? Day's outing. Mum and Dad takes them for a day's outing to watch the buildings come down. Sad day in the history of Hamilton, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And you were in business.
Yeah.
Whereabouts were you and what is your name?
On the corner of Chaucer and Denison Streets.
Yes.
And I had a canvas and plastics goods manufacturing company that I started when I was 22.
Yeah.
And they've given me life to it, and now it's about to be demolished. And at this stage, I don't know whether it's put paid for the business or whether I'll start off again. It depends on my sons, but I know that I just haven't got the energy or the drive to do what I did when I was 22.
You weren't insured, is that correct?
No, I wasn't. We'd had overtures made to us to buy the building by different developers, and it hadn't reached fruition. And the insurance fell due, and the premiums were high, and I decided I'd not insure it because I was selling it anyway.
And this is what happened?
So this is what happened. I've lost everything.
Yeah, I feel very sorry for you.
Yeah.
The people in business in Hamilton, a lot of them were caught this way.
Yes.
And your wife, have you got anything to add to that?
I was upset at first, but I'm settling down from that now. But I'm more sorry for our sons.
Yeah.
The business. It's going to be hard for them to make the decision to carry on after 36 years. We lived above the business for 8 when they were young, before we built our home up Merriweather Heights. And it's hard now to think it would all be gone now because of the result of the earthquake. Whether the sons will continue on or not.
Yes, it's a very, very sad day indeed. And you never lost any people, any friends?
No, my son's car was parked at the side of the building, and he was inside, and the side of the building came out and flattened his car. Fairmont just crushed it. And,
he was very lucky to get out.
Well, I'll say a very strange thing here to you, and you'd probably feel like hitting me on the head for saying it, but a Happy New Year to you both.
Well, we wish you the same.
Thank you very much.
And we could be a lot worse off. We could have been, my son could have been inside the building and it collapsed on him.
That would have been the worst.
That would have been the worst.
Now, as you can see, this is Australians. Australians to the backbone. These are the people that built this country. These are the people that will go on and rebuild this city.
That's right. I'm third generation Novocastrian.
Third generation Novocastrian. Incidentally, if you don't know what Novocastrian means, which a lot of people get stumped on, can you explain what a Novocastrian is?
People that were born in Newcastle.
Yes.
I'm the third generation. My children are the fourth. My grandchildren are the fifth that have lived and worked in Newcastle.
There, that's it. Somebody called me a Novocastrian the other day, but I'm from Western Australia, and I've only been here 10 years, and I said, what?
You never call them Newcastleites or Newcastle people, it's Novocastrian.
Novocastrian.
My father was in business in Newcastle.
Yes.
Upholstery business for 36 years. My brother is still in business, in the upholstery business. That to me is Novocastrian. Keep on in the same city, rebuilding, living, the generations on.
Would you say the people in Newcastle at this very moment, they have a lot of guts?
Oh, yes.
They're backbone, they're Australians to the backbone, and they're going to rebuild.
Novocastrians are very special.
Yeah.
Very special people. It's a very special place.
Yeah.
It's still parochial enough for people to feel for other people and care about them. It's not too large. It's got a special feeling. People will survive.
Yes, you can see how these people are picking up their lives and they're determined to live on, and that's what Newcastle and especially Hamilton is all about. People with backbone. Seen in Beaumont Street. Yes, it's Beaumont Street on the 12th of the 1st, well the 14th now, of 1990. Happy New Year, everybody. Died, some people have lived, but the people that are living are going to pick up the pieces and put it into place. This is what Australia is all about. They certainly showed it here. Yes, Beaumont Street will never ever be the same. Never. Hamilton, the aftermath. Amongst the rubble, amongst the devastation. Beside the rubble they have brought down in Beaumont Street in Hamilton. It is a very... We say farewell to Beaumont Street. It's a sad picture indeed amongst this rubble. We leave it for the sightseers. Remarks is that there will be thousands of sightseers come into Beaumont Street, not to buy, but just to look. Goodbye to old Beaumont Street as we knew it. Curious people in the streets, sightseeing, looking over Beaumont Street in Hamilton. This will rebuild. This will change. 1990, yes, you cannot keep the sightseers of Beaumont Street wanting to see the damage that has been done, looking over the building. They don't want the workers to get on with it. All they want to do is to have a look. Yes, it's a lovely day to go out for a sightseeing tour of Beaumont Street in Hamilton.
Interpret these, but when they get a bit long, it's easy to come forward.
In a way, the way we go, you know,
leaving the meeting that was held at the Gallipoli Club in Beaumont Street in Hamilton. Now, this gentleman, he has had quite a lot of run-in with the authorities, and I'd like for you to tell me your story on what happened. Could you tell me the story of what happened to you with the insurance and that?
Well, the running with the authorities started already on the 1st of January. First was the encounter with the police. They rang me and I had to come out because I'm looking after a friend's place in down the street, Hamilton, which fortunately enough didn't get much damage, and as a structural engineer said, it withstood the earthquake very well. Well, that was the first meeting. Immediately I got onto a firm of consulting engineers. That's Sinclair Thompson and Sinclair Knight and Company, and they're very quick, and they helped by coming out on the 3rd of January, inspecting the place, writing down what has to be repaired. It was not a case of demolition, and of course I was very happy for my friend the owner. Then we had a further inspection by the assessor or loss adjuster, they call themselves, because we are insured, or my friend is insured with a Mercantile Mutual Insurance Company Limited. And first, before he started talking to me, he said, well, you have to watch the close of the underinsurance. I said, what do you mean by that? Well, that means that if you have insured for, say, $100,000, and the replacement really will be $175,000, you'll be getting the repairs paid in proportion, or the pro rata. So that's what happened. He took the particulars, I gave him the copy of the structural engineer's report, and really, I must admit, he was quick and let me know last week that according to his calculation, the building would be worth $175,000. Therefore, since it was insured for $100,000 only, we'll be getting about slightly more than $5,000. Our quote was $9,930. Well, then further attention or attendance with the council, which was not too fast. They wanted to be given a sketch what we're going to do, and I'm a retired lawyer, not a draftsman. I told them to. Still, I managed to make a sketch, and finally the building application was lodged last Friday, which would have been the 19th of this month, and tomorrow, the 23rd, I will meet the inspector on the site, and I was promised I'll be handed out the building application, and the building or the repairs can commence. The funny thing about it, and that's my personal view, that in such a disaster, the council even asked to pay for the building application in the proportion of the quotation or the work which it will cost to be done.
Yes, I think they're being a bit rough with the people themselves. They expect them to build their own businesses up. What about the Lord Mayor's fund? What are they going to do with that?
Well, I'm reading about it all in the paper. I don't know whether any guidelines have been set, how it will be distributed, who is going to get it. It's all in the dark so far. And as we heard this meeting, I don't think the Lord Mayor knows much himself.
I don't think so, the way they go.
Who is going to get, and how it's going to be distributed, and who will be entitled. It's a long way before this street of Belmont Street will be rebuilt the proper way it should be.
Thank you very much for that interview.
My pleasure.
And I can only say in 1990, good luck to you for the future.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Come here and turn around so everyone can hear.
I'm talking about averages. This will take $100,000. Property itself may be worth $200,000.
Here's Newcastle. National funds for national disaster. There's certainly been a disaster here. What would you mean by that?
Newcastle is one of the major cities of Australia. A large proportion of the population of Newcastle have been affected by this earthquake. So surely it's worthy of federal help, not just token assistance, but visits politicians who are probably more motivated by the coming election and a genuine desire to help Newcastle, which has always been treated as a poor relation.
And have you been personally affected by it?
I've been affected in a minor way, but I'm concerned about the shopkeepers of Hamilton.
Would you say they've been given
little or no help whatsoever?
Would you say that they've been given a good go or a raw deal?
A very raw deal.
A raw deal? In what way?
Well, as I understand it, the banks are giving them no assistance whatsoever, no relief with their mortgages and so on. Even though Beaumont Street has been closed for over a month, they received no help whatsoever. The Lord Mayor's appeal has been defined in such a way that only a very few people can receive help from it, beside the few.
But aren't the people getting
that are there?
Aren't the people getting loans out? What about the loans?
Well, they may be getting loans, but they haven't been able to trade for a month.
Well, I heard they were getting
in
loans.
a desperate situation.
I heard they were getting loans if they qualified for it.
Well,
and yet there's a lot of people that are not getting loans.
No, that's right. I think the whole thing has been treated in with a very petty attitude, and it's just been used by politicians to try and make them look good.
Right. Thank you very.
I doubt there's any much genuine concern at all for the real victims.
No. I must go along with you on.
ABC on the job, Kevin?
Now I notice that you've got a lot of placards out here. What's it all about?
Well, although we're accused of being placard waving, that's all that people, ordinary citizens, can do if they're not consulted and if they're excluded from meetings, and if public authorities take the law into their own hands, well then all that citizens can do is to hold up placards.
Do you mean to say you have been excluded from the meeting inside here?
Oh, well, I asked to be included as a member of the Citizens Earthquake Action Group, and that wasn't possible.
And they're not letting you in, only stand outside with a placard in your hand?
Well, there are lots of people who aren't being allowed in, and I'm one of them. Our group is one of them, but I can see that there has to be a limit.
And do you think they're doing enough for the victims here in Hamilton?
I think that there's probably not a realisation of the magnitude of the disaster, and that's why one of our placards says National Funds for a National Disaster.
Yes, I have that. Thank you very much.
I met with the Premier and I said what much trouble the red tape Tuesday associated with the arrangements between the Commonwealth and the state on natural disaster relief arrangements. We will go dollar for dollar. That was accepted. So what I said is that the money is available on that basis, and the actual delivery mechanisms are the responsibility of the state and people being localised. We have provided financial reassurance that they can go ahead. Okay, good.
Yes, thanks. All take care.
Good. Okay. Okay, you got it?
John's over near the door.
Oh, it'll be nice. Turned on. Okay, okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
My day no problem with any of those. I don't have problems. Okay, good after shop, Bob.
Okay.
Remember Thomas Tower. Lots of national funds for a big national disaster, Mr. Hawke. And we're not exaggerating, Alan. You shouldn't have said that to me on TV the other day. I wasn't exaggerating. People are homeless. People are in need. People do need. People's businesses are going broke. I wasn't exaggerating, Alan, on 2GB, and you shouldn't have said so. We need massive federal funding, Alan. National funds, it's a big problem. It's a big cyclone crazy, Mr. Hawke. You got your work.